Hello, welcome, Marlene here. Today is a little flashback to 2015 when I made this pretty robin cookie. These come together so quickly, the look of a painted cookie, but using the airbrush when you can kind of produce a little bit faster, which is crucial during the holidays. So now on to the step-by-step tutorial. The first step here, we're going to get our base layer of icing on there. I'm working in Delphinium Blue. This is a Wilton color. I don't often use Wilton, but this is one of my favorite colors. This is actually ideal as a background for silver if you're working on a silver cookie. It's a really perfect shade of, it's not like a dead gray. I don't know, there's some pigment to it. I think there's like purple in it or something. And there we go. We're just going to completely cover the surface of the cookie. The other thing that's good about this color is I'm airbrushing in brown later, and this is not going to muck up my brown. You have to take that into consideration when you're airbrushing. The background color can really mess up the airbrush, makes the color look weird, really changes the shade of it. There we go. Shake that out, and we're gonna let these pretty much dry, because we're gonna have to airbrush them, and I don't like to rest my template or stencil on top of wet icing. You risk cracking it and messing it up. It's not worth it. You better to just let them dry. Here's my template. We're going to make the robin as a royal icing transfer. I'm just adding a little tiny dot of icing to secure my parchment paper, making them on small pieces as opposed to on a big kind of sheet. And now I'm starting with the wing area. This is some ivory icing. I have a pretty small tip here. It's a 1.5. And I'm drawing the wing here because I want some definition between the wing and the body. Fill that in. You can heal it up with your needle. And now I'm going to grab some brown to do the beak area. There we go. And we're going to let these crust before filling in this area. And now we're going to be filling in the rest. Just try to line it up best you can. And now doing the bottom of the bird, what's above the branch, and then the whole perimeter. And then we're going to fill it all in. Make sure it's touching the wing and the beak so that they don't break off when you're taking them off the parchment paper. And now let's make sure we have a good connection against the wing there. Smooth out our icing. And now we're going to drop our eye in there. There. And we're going to let these dry overnight. Alright, here is a robin, kind of the master that I looked at. And now we're going to be using some orange instead of red. I know we always hear a robin's chest is red, but the red is just too much. And so I'm using orange instead. And this is actually Rainbow Dust airbrush color. I'm hitting the beak. I'm not worrying about the beak. It's brown and it's not impacted by the orange airbrush. And I'm hitting the eye, again black, not impacted by the airbrush. And I'm hitting just where the eye is there, and then on the belly there a bit, just like that. And that's as much orange as we're adding. Now the next color is brown. I'm working upside down just because I'm hitting this way and I don't want to mess up my little transfers. And I'm going to be hitting First of all, I want to just get a little bit of brown on this edge right here. And now from a little, like considerably high, not crazy, I just want to give it a light dusting to take away the completely clean ivory color. And now I'm hitting where the wing is right here, where the joint is, darkening that up, and then the top of the head here. Like that. And there's our little robin. I have 8 royal icing transfer here. I was able to do them in like no time, the painting. So it's really up to you now if you want to come in and paint like little lines to give the impression of feathers, or if you just want to leave it. Everybody has their style. If you want to come in and lightly, you know, brush on some little lines to replicate the bird a little bit more authentically, well, that's entirely up to you. I'm trying to think easy peasy myself. I was looking at them, I thought they were missing a little something, so I'm going to hit them with some black right here, right on the edge. A light misting of black right on the back there. See, it's kind of dark there, and I don't know, it just wasn't tying in for me. So I'm doing that. It's up to you if you want to skip the black. Personally, I find that it does look better with it. And here is the design, and now I'm going to be airbrushing the branch. I've cut the branch, here's my stencil. I've cut all the way behind the bird, just in case. I didn't want to cut the line here and then put my bird and have a little bit of branch missing. So I'm going all the way across the cookie. And then this part down here, if we look at my bird here, it's kind of blackish. So I'm going to be dusting everything in brown, and then I'm going to come in and touch the wing and that tail in the black, and that's why I did a bit of black on the back of the cardinal so that it would all tie in together. So we're going to start with the black because that's what's in my gun and I don't feel like cleaning it. Just going to position my... So we want to make sure, you see I cut my stencil so that it would go outside of the cookie, and that's important that you position yourself properly. And now I'm just going to hit this bottom area in the black. I don't want any black on the top, and you don't have to add a lot. Just like that. Okay, here is the cookie with the background branch, the front branch, and the tail area. And so all we're doing is we're repositioning the stencil with the thing we airbrushed previously. That tells us where to position. And then we're going to give everything a nice dusting of brown. So the only thing visible at the bottom really will be the tail. So you can decide how much you want to airbrush there. And then these branches will be visible. And if you want, you can hit them a little bit darker on the edges to give them, like, you know, not such a flat look. And there they are. I actually don't mind the underspray. It gives it more of a soft, you know, background is a little bit blurry. Gives it kind of that look. Just at the top of the ornament here, I'm using the same color icing as we did the background. And I'm just redrawing that top of the ornament just to create a bit of a difference. I'm going to be painting this silver. And that's it. I just want to bump there. Create a bit of interest. Some dots here. And we're shaking that out. There we go. And now I'm working on that branch the bird will be resting on, and now we can see the tail, how it looks behind that branch. And because we airbrush the branch, we have exactly our guideline to follow. And so it takes the guesswork out. We know exactly where to pipe. And then once you've outlined it, you can come in and make kind of a bump so that it looks like half the branch, you know, popping out. There we go. Trying to get this off, rolling the parchment paper off gently. I can see it's wet. Let's get this on quickly. A little bit of icing on the beak, everywhere. Hold the sides if you're like me and you're very impatient. That's usually more dry. And I'm using the tail to line up. Whoops. And I'm pressing with the eye here. The eye is the sturdiest part since that's a pearl. There we go. There is the attached bird onto the cookie. I'm going to show you how to do his feet. We're taking the leg here out of the part of the body here and taking that around the branch, another toe and another. And then his little toes on this foot here, just like that, coming from the body. Like that. And if you have a peak, just take your needle and flatten it out. Create his little claws. Snow, you could just do white royal icing, but these are two great products for snow also to add. Here is some kind of white sugar. This is bigger than granulated sugar that you would use in your baking. It's decorative sugar. It's called sanding sugar. And these are tiny little white spheres. And you can see here, tiny nopere. They're smaller even than the standard. And these make also some great snow. Now I'm using also these little Wilton holly leaves. And now what we're doing is we're adding the snow where it would accumulate had it snowed. So on the top of the branches. And you can work on one side more than the other, and then we'll go back. So I'm adding the snow here. I'm adding this V to be able to add my holly leaves. So that's what will secure my holly leaves. Like that. Now you could add them in icing. I really like the way that they kind of stick out with the little candies. So now you pick up your cookie and I'm dunking. This will, by dunking instead of sprinkling, it really sticks on, okay? See this, it's stuck on there, but I'll be able to brush that off. And now on top of this branch, this one, and then here. Like that. We'll add our little leaves. In there. And again, I'm picking it up and I'm dunking in the icing. Make sure you have a good mound of it. There we go. Some of the icing smushed out over here. Okay. Now I'm rotating to be able to work a bit better. I'm going to be adding some snow to the top of this branch here. And then hiding the hole here. There's a bit of a hole in between the body of the bird and my branch, and that snow will hide that. Adding my holly, and now my little fruit, dunking that in. There, and now my final area on top in the back there, just a bit of snow here and then here. There we go. Here are the cookies, pretty much close to finished. Now for the feet here, the color is very close to the branch. I'm taking a brown marker and I'm just passing over the feet to darken them up so that there's a little bit of a difference between the foot and the branch. I'm not using black, it's too harsh. And that's it, like that. And now for the top portion here, I painted that silver. I'm going to use the rainbow dust paint to just quickly paint the top and we'll be done. Here are the two versions, the sanding sugar and then the nonpareil sprinkles. I really, I don't hate this one, but I prefer the sanding sugar. I find it looks like real snow. Thanks so much for watching. You'll find the template on my Facebook page. I'll put the link in the description box. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future uploads, and I'll see you next time.